now we're going to look at flexibility in both the genders. So women generally compete in sports such as ice skating, gymnastics and tennis, where speed, flexibility and grace can dominate the sport, whereas men play sports such as football, hockey, rugby and baseball, where physical strength is a requirement for nearly every player. So women generally do this because they have a smaller frame, they're a lot lighter, they're a lot more agile, and they can perform these sports a lot better. Also, their joints are a lot more supple than a lot of men's, naturally anyway. But men play sports such as football, hockey, rugby and basketball because their frames are a lot bigger, the musculature there is a lot bigger, so they're a lot stronger, they're a lot more powerful, a lot more explosive force comes out of the muscles during those. Sports that need flexibility: long distance running, gymnastics, diving, dance, ice skating, speed skating and synchronised swimming. And as we can see down here, a lot of the sports that require a lot of flexibility are very female dominated. The only male dominated one is speed skating, and both female and male dominate the long distance running, and this is generally due to all of those ones that are female dominated are due to the females just being a lot more naturally flexible and a lot lighter and stuff I mentioned in the last slide. Sports that do not need flexibility: rugby, football, Formula One, American National Football League, so it's American football, horse riding, hockey and refereeing. And as we can see, a lot of these ones that don't require flexibility are very male dominated, and this is due to the musculature of the men also kind of restricting their flexibility during it all. Hockey and horse riding are very female dominated, as these have been very, not exclusively, but they've been brought up quite well in girls' schools and stuff like that, developed from girls' schools. So why are females more bendy and flexible? Well, during the growth spurt that occurs during puberty, connective tissues greatly tighten. In some cases, bones actually fuse together. A female's weight distribution is also different to males. Their weight is distributed lower around the hips and thighs, which gives them a lower centre of gravity, giving them a stability advantage as well. So, as their centre of gravity is low, in a lot of sports that require a good centre of balance, e.g. gymnastics and dance and stuff like that, they can balance a lot more, so they can extend their limbs, turn their limbs, and move about with a lot more grace and finesse in all their movements and everything like that. Pregnancy: women typically put on between 25 and 35 pounds during flexibility. This extra weight shifts a women's centre of gravity far below their hips, which makes it much harder to stay upright, which is why they need a flexible back during this pregnancy stage. And also you can see from x-rays of a pregnant woman that the back is very, very arched, and it stays arched, and this is why the women have to be a lot more flexible during this time to allow for the extra weight and the shift of centre of gravity. Men are more muscular, and this could be a factor when, as the muscle is really heavily developed, and it interferes with the ability for the joints to take through their complete range of movement. For example, large hamstrings limit the ability to fully bend the knees, and it also tightens up the feet and the ankle joint. So if you have very tight hamstrings or very tight calf muscles, it can force your foot to fully extend forwards, so you have a reduced range of movement during this time. Now moving on to muscle mass and testosterone. Muscle mass in males. In both males and females, there are the same type of fibres, and they'll both have the same power size and power to weight ratio kind of thing. So they have the same types of fibres. Everything is identical during this, apart from the fact that males just have a lot more musculature in their body, Also, muscle mass is closely related to muscular strength and endurance in the muscles. So, as males have a higher amount of muscle in the body, they are a lot stronger, and the endurance of their muscles is also a lot higher as there is more fibres to recruit during movements. And this means that men are naturally stronger in every single area of the body. Muscle mass in women. Females do not gain as much muscle due to estrogen, which inhibits the speed of muscular development. And pretty much what this means is that the estrogen kind of slows down the process of muscular building. So if a man does 1 year at the gym an hour every single day, they will gain about 20% more than women will do, as females on average have 20% less musculature than men and gain it a lot slower. As you can see here, researchers determined that men on average had 72.6 pounds of muscle compared to the 46 pounds found in women. So the men had 40% more muscle mass in the upper body and 30% more in the lower body than females. So this shows that men are naturally more muscular. Testosterone. Testosterone is a big factor in muscle building, as both males and females have it, but males have it in far greater amount. Females have a much higher percentage of estrogen, which inhibits the muscular growth and encourages fat gain. So it kind of slows down the slows down the effects of the testosterone in the body. And females have less phosphagen, which also inhibits muscular contractions, which it doesn't stop the muscular contractions, but it just decreases the efficiency of them. Testosterone increases the red blood cell count in the body and also decreases body fat and promotes sex characteristics. So this is why men have a lot higher volume of blood and a lot less body fat in the body. Estrogen also encourages fat gains, and this is due to the menstrual cycle, as kind of like a measure that the body takes, so it stores more fat during the menstrual cycle. Lastly, we're going to look at the difference between male and women's hearts. So hearts. Females have smaller hearts because of the difference in body size. Females on average have their body size is a lot smaller, so their heart doesn't have to be as big and as muscular to pump blood around the body. Depending on genetics of the parents, results in heart size. So if you have very large parents, then on average your heart will be a lot bigger, as genetically you gain this from your parents and ancestors for you. Because of men having larger muscle mass and larger internal organs, men will have a larger stroke volume to accommodate the functions. So this means that per beat of the heart, the male will pump more blood out through the body to accommodate for the muscles, so to supply the muscles with oxygen, and also to take away the waste products like carbon dioxide from the muscles, which during exercise, this is absolutely key to aerobically get the energy to and from the muscles, so that the muscles have a pure energy store there. And because of men having... Actually, no, I've just done with it. Next we'll look at the female hearts. So women have smaller arteries, which are around 1.5 millimetres in width. Because of the size of it, it makes it very tricky to perform some types of surgery. So when females do have surgery, it has to be a lot more extreme compared to when men have heart surgery. Women's heart weighs around 118 grams, which is about as much as a green pepper. So if you think about it, it's not very big compared to the size of the body, but this is the heart is always sufficient to supply the body with the amount of blood it needs to efficiently work aerobically. So when Also, when women have heart transplant surgery, they receive a man's heart because they are bigger and they'll be more efficient in the women's body due to the size of the heart. So, whenever heart surgery occurs, women always have a male's heart transplanted into it, so that their body is working more efficiently than it was before. And women's average heartbeat per minute is male hearts on average weigh about 178 grams, and while most heart attacks in men and women are caused by blockages in the arteries, the blockage is different in men and women. Men tend to have calcified plaque, which affect 3 coronary arteries in men, but only affects 2 in women. This is because it is a lot softer in women, in women's hearts, but because it is softer, it can cause heart attacks if dislodged. So the calcified plaque builds up around the arteries, kind of restricts the blood flow, and the higher blood pressure can also result in dislodging it, which, if it gets lodged in the heart, will cause a heart attack. A male artery is around 2.5 millimetres in diameter, so it's about 1 millimetre bigger than women's. So the blood flow to the heart is a lot greater, and also the blood flow out of the heart is a lot greater because of the increased stroke volume and the increase of all of it. And a man's heart beats at about 72 beats a minute compared to 80 beats a minute in females. So this reduced heart rate is because of the increase in stroke volume of the heart. So the more blood is coming out of the heart, which in sport is a great advantage to have, because you can have a lower heart rate and more blood will come out of the heart. So if both males and females have a heartbeat of 120 beats, then the males will also always get quite a substantial amount more blood to the muscles per minute than the females would. The end.